I'm Omegon, and welcome back to another episode of GitWotch. The Gits we watching this time are actually extra credits. With me is Inquisitor Rex Balgriff again.
Hello there.
Alright, so have you seen the first video they did? Because this is actually like part 2 of another one that they did that was like kind of retarded, but it was... Like, this one kind of encapsulates all the retardedness of... Encapsulates.
No, I've actually never seen any of these videos before, so...
Wait, you've never actually watched any extra credits?
No. I have not.
Oh my god. Alright, well...
I'm a little out of the loop in that regard.
That's kind of terrible. They do videos on game design and stuff. Like...
Oh, God.
Like, they routinely pretend they know a lot more about the games they're talking about than they actually do, because they are really, really terrible at doing research, as we're about to find out. Or as you're about to, like, see an example of, rather.
As a prolific consumer of various Warhammer franchises, yes, I will be able to determine that for myself. Let's just fucking watch the video, bro. Just watch the video.
Previously on Extra Credits, we talked about the unusual approach that Games Workshop was taking in licensing out their IP to different studios. This new strategy of theirs seemed like it would either revive the struggling company, or fail spectacularly.
Because the company was really struggling, right? It was like you know, it was waiting on video games to fucking save it.
Just okay.
It's totally not struggling because of I don't know, something that rhymes with Mage of Shithar. The Mage of Shithar strikes again.
Well, a year has now passed, and just a few weeks ago, James came to a realization. Every single game he was in the middle of playing was based on some Games Workshop IP.
This didn't happen.
No, it did not happen.
There's no way this actually happened. The vast majority
didn't happen.
No, not that.
No,
every game I'm playing right now is 40k based. It's like the vast majority of the 40k games that have come out have been utter garbage, unless like the only games he's been playing are like the shitty 40k mobile games and then Total Warhammer. Like,
come on, man. I'll take you out. Come on, let's just go back to my house and we're gonna play Chaos Gate and Space Hulk, and we're gonna have a damn good time. And then you can delete this video off of YouTube after you're like, wow, my hope has been restored.
Oh, no. That's the problem. They think that GW is doing the right thing here.
They're stupid.
Just watch.
So I guess we better look at Warhammer again.
Intros. Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Two things from James's accidental delve into the Warhammer universe. First, an intervention might be in order. But second, well, basically, that their plan worked. That the way Games Workshop has been licensing their IP...
Like, just all the shitty jokes in this are just unbearable.
Seems to have been successful. So let's look at what they did and try to figure out why it worked. Just to recap, though, what was this bold plan that Games Workshop had to license out their worlds? Basically, they licensed their IP to anybody with a pulse and a machine capable of compiling code.
What? Yeah, because that was something they actually did, and not something that was the result of fucking THQ going under.
Yeah, like
no research done.
On its face, you can see how that might turn out very, very poorly. This could have ended in a mountain of bad games that...
It did, you idiot.
Yes. What the fuck?
Hey, let's get the fucking list of like terrible fucking like ISO titles. Like,
oh my god, just
not ISO, iOS title. Let's get the list of terrible iOS titles for 40k right now. Hang on.
Games Workshop being the awesome company that they are, after THQ went under, they were like, you know, it's about time to just hoard this IP out to the fucking dirt.
Yeah.
It's about time. We need more money.
We need to whore out this IP. This has nothing to do with THQ going under and the license being like, you know, like going
just
to everybody.
Up for fucking grabs.
That sunk the value of their IP for years. But
The value of their IP is already in the shitter. They just have a shitload of money because of people like Sam Knowlton.
Yeah,
God damn it.
That didn't happen. They not only
we just talked about this.
We just talked about this not too long ago, and you come back here and prove it right. It's not even in the same sphere of media.
I don't even have to wear a tinfoil hat. This shit's real.
Oh man, like the fucking the idiotic goddamn the idiotic goddamn social engineering going on in the Bell of Lost Souls comments, where like every time you're like, I think these comments are being moderated, I think GW is fucking up, people are like, that's tinfoil hat conspiracy nonsense.
Come the fuck on.
Recent games like Blood Bowl and Battlefleet.
Blood Bowl was not good. Blood Bowl was horribly optimized and only worked on consoles because it was made fucking garbage on the computer, and fucking Battlefleet Gothic was ass. Battlefleet Gothic was ass. It was a fucking shit show that got worse.
It almost had more balance issues than the tabletop game.
It was ass. It got worse every fucking time they added to it because the devs just refused to try and balance the game.
Yeah,
you ended with something where the fucking Tau were better at boarding actions than goddamn Chaos Space Marines.
Hey man, I believed in it because I was like, oh god, they're finally going to make a faithful representation of the original game, but no, they did not.
It's real time and it's 3D. And
they literally took the original.
No, the best shit was that they made it a real time strategy in 3D, and then they still made it on a 2D plane just because. Like,
look, man, all I wanted was Sins of a Solar Empire with Warhammer 40K,
and you couldn't even get that.
Couldn't even get that.
That's even worse. He's not even showing like Battlefleet Gothic Armada. He's showing Battlefleet Gothic Leviathan, the fucking mobile game that they made after that actually had the Tyranids in it, and it was even more of a piece of shit.
Exactly. Well, of course, it's a fucking mobile game. What'd you expect?
All right, and hang on, this is the fucking kicker.
Gothic Leviathan and Warhammer Quest, but they all...
Warhammer Quest.
What?
Warhammer Quest.
Who enjoyed that game?
So actually got a handful of really quality games, like Mordheim and Vermintide.
Really quality. I can't speak for Mordheim because I haven't played it. I mean, like, I played the tabletop. Vermintide is a fucking grind fest.
Vermintide is a grind fest, but I'll give it this. The devs did fix the game, like, before they decided to stop supporting it officially.
Yeah, but, like...
It's better than it was.
Here's the problem.
I'll say that.
As a video game, in literally every aspect, Warframe is better than it, and Warframe is still free.
Yeah, definitely. It's exactly like Warframe.
Like, it's that sad. Like, it got beaten by freeware in development by a bunch of fucking weirdos obsessed with, like, tentacles and slime and lollies.
Yep. Thumbs up.
Like, okay. Oh, no, and I think there's another kicker here.
In Total Warhammer.
All right. Yeah. That's what was my reaction, too. Like, fucking Total Warhammer. Like, where, you know that game that required so much DLC that Sega decided to repackage it as a second game. That came with all of the UI updates that people needed to make the game fucking playable. And it still has shit AI and shit it still has like shit AI and shit unit pathing and shit animation quality when it comes to like actual clashes. Like, the individual unit animations are amazing, but then them interacting is fucking terrible because every goddamn hero is just like doing DBZ shit where he just swings his sword and like everybody like within 5 feet just flies backwards. Like, oh god. Then like all the units are still totally imbalanced and it's like a DLC shit show. But like, oh no, he's gonna just completely gloss over this and just be like, Total Warhammer. It's gotta be Total Warhammer. It can't.
It's the one game I didn't want them to have like a trillion microtransactions for. I think Total War Warhammer has more microtransactions than fucking trains.
Yeah. Like,
okay. That is bad.
Like, you know, it doesn't actually. It's a little that we're exaggerating a little bit because Trains has like an ungodly amount, but like,
well, it's exponentially bad though.
Yeah,
because
like
this is a
buy all of these legendary lords. Go get a fucking Creative Assembly website
like
account get an account so that we can data mine you to unlock Regiments of Renown, because they're in the base game and the AI can use them against you, but you can't use them unless you give us your personal information.
Yeah, it's like every. You know what's weird? Because every company that picks up a Games Workshop IP decides to employ the same strategy that they seem to employ as well. Let's just milk this for fucking money.
Yeah, like the Blood DLC. Good God.
Blood DLC.
We made Warriors of Chaos Day 1 DLC for Total Warhammer, and then even though like every other DLC faction is completely fucking broken, Warriors of Chaos are still nigh on unplayable because of how fucking terribly designed their units are.
Let me tell you something. Mortal Kombat for the Sega Genesis didn't have blood activated by default. You needed to get a secret code to unlock blood, but it wasn't downloadable fucking content. It was a secret goddamn code.
Well, you couldn't. To be fair, you couldn't download shit back then. It was the Sega Genesis.
You couldn't. But the point is, you had to have all of your content ready to go because it was on a cartridge or a disc.
No. The best part was that it wasn't actually added in the game. They made it a DLC later, and it was just this graphical update. But then they made it DLC for the second game too. Like, they made it DLC for the second game anyway.
Oh, Lord have mercy, burn these heretics.
More LARPing? Yes.
Just
listen to this stupid fucking joke he's gonna make, because he's showing off his, like, lame nerd cred.
Please,
Which,
continue.
by the way, that is what that game is called. Don't anyone dare try to tell me it isn't. But, okay.
It's Total Warhammer, not Total War Warhammer, because
But
okay. This is the most original fucking joke ever.
It's Total War Warhammer. Get it right. You're the one bitching about franchises. It's a franchise. It's Total War. Come on.
Why did this work? Well, first of all, not all of the licensed Games Workshop games were hits, but I'm guessing you don't really remember those. You're probably aware of at least a few of the pretty good games I mentioned before, but what about Snotling Fling, Doomwheel, Storm of Vengeance?
They're all mobile games.
Yeah.
No one cares.
If any of those do ring a bell, I bet you haven't given any of those games thought in a very, very long time. And that is by design. The first key to the Games Workshop shotgun approach to licensing seems to be sublicensing.
Shoot themselves in the fucking face.
Yeah, they should have.
Is the fine art of taking a big property and breaking off all the little things that you might conceivably license from it as separate IPs. Often this is done in broad strokes, like how the Silmarillion is technically a different license than the Lord of the Rings, or how all the Marvel characters were licensed separately and often to different studios.
Once again, no research.
Once again, no fucking
doesn't
research
understand that the reason why all this sublicensing happened. Like none of the licensing he's talking about was deliberate.
Yeah,
the Silmarillion was a different property than Lord of the Rings because Lord of the Rings didn't have a fucking hard copyright on it, and the Silmarillion was put together after fucking Tolkien's death from his notes and then released by the estate. Marvel characters were done because Marvel sold off the rights to all of their characters to different movie studios when they were facing bankruptcy.
Yeah, like...
That's why the X-Men franchise and the Marvel Cinematic Universe are two different franchises. And this motherfucker's like, no, these companies deliberately sublicense this stuff as part of some master marketing plan.
No, it's totally wrong. It's the same reason why Fox just won't fucking let the undead corpse of fucking Fantastic Four die.
We gotta keep making Fantastic Four movies.
We gotta keep making Fantastic Four movies. We must make this one shittier than the last one.
Even shittier than the Silver Surfer.
They keep getting worse. It's a curse, I swear. It's so bad. But no, yeah. Like, that's just it. He's just like, it's deliberate. They did this shit on... No, they didn't.
Like, no research done. Like listen, like I'll explain this next part. Like this is great.
At least until Disney consolidated them. But the folks at
They didn't consolidate all of them, you cuck.
Oh.
Games Workshop are going buck wild with this. If you look at those subpar games that I listed before, notice how 2 of those are licenses for just a single Warhammer unit. One solitary unit from a game with literally hundreds of them. That is like taking the Lord of the Rings license and breaking off the Farmer Maggot character into his own solo license for some studio to try to build a game around. It's kind of brilliant in a way. Because if you look at all the Warhammer brand games that have come out, it appears that Games Workshop gives the really small, inconsequential licenses to studios that they aren't 100% confident.
Duh.
No, it's not even that. Like GW, like they're acting like GW did this on purpose when it's like, once again, this is like all the, like, this is the license being upped for grabs, not by their choice, but by other companies dissolving. That's why Eternal Crusade still has the fucking license to 40K in general. Like, Eternal Crusade is not a AAA title, but it doesn't have, like, oh, like, this is the license for Black Templars. You can only have Black Templars and stuff related to Black Templars. Like, this is bullshit, because while he is correct on the whole, like, GW has copyrighted all their individual models, that has nothing to do with sublicensing. That's because the Chapterhouse debacle, where other modeling companies were selling, like, facilities, I'm trying to use words, clones, was trying to sell clones of models that, that GW already made, but cheaper. And then GW fucking, like, decided to lawyer up so hard that they copyrighted the term Space Marine. And fucking, like, international trade law somehow let them get away with it.
It's complete bullshit.
Yeah, and so, like, they started, like, that's why they changed the names of all of their paint pots from Citadel to stuff that was related to their own models. So, like, it's no longer Tentacle Pink, it's, like, Emperor's Children Pink.
While we're on the topic of them fucking shit up, they also copyrighted the term Warhammer.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah, and they had they released a new heavy battle. Or they released it wasn't a heavy, it was an assault battle mech in BattleTech, and they were going to release, like, new games with it featured in them, but it was called the Warhammer, so they had it shut down.
Like,
fun shit.
Like, there's all this dumb shit that GW does that's not even hidden. Like, this is not even, like, off the radar, and they just didn't even bother doing Google searches about this. They're just talking out of their fucking ass, and everybody is letting them get away with it because we're extra credits. We're fucking, we have so many subscribers. We're so fucking cool.
That's the same way with a lot of these YouTube channels now. Not all of them, but a lot.
Almost all of them.
Yeah.
Almost all of them.
Almost.
That way, if the studio blows it, well, then Games Workshop just lets that game quietly vanish into obscurity, and their brand doesn't take that much of a hit. But if I were to wager a guess, I would bet that they tell all of those studios that if they nail it, they'll be given a meteor piece of the Warhammer license next time. And this allows Games Workshop to try studios out, embracing the successes and leaving the failures to wither without much cost. So that's what's happening with the small licenses.
So you mean like how... You mean... What you're saying here is that GW fucking over Relic Entertainment by not supporting THQ at all when they had the license a few years ago is totally part of their marketing scheme? You fucking idiot.
I smell bullshit.
Like, that was like the biggest twist of the knife, was that THQ went under. Like, THQ went under due to their own dumb marketing decisions, obviously.
Right.
But Relic didn't deserve to go under and be cannibalized by Sega into the shit, like the fucking, like, husk it is now.
Yeah.
And, like, the whole, like, part of the reason why that happened was because, like, GW basically didn't support it at all, but then, like, now in this new era where it's shotgunning everything, GW is running fucking ads for Dawn of War 3 on their own website. Like, what dumb fuckery is this?
It's a dark age. It's a dark age, my friend.
I guess.
The medium-sized ones go to teams that Games Workshop knows can deliver, but they aren't mega studios. These mid-size licenses might be something chunky like a Space Marine chapter, but just as often there'll be some expansion or a spin-off that has its own unique feel. These are your Blood Bowls and your Vermintides. This
citation needed, motherfucker. Like his examples don't even make any sense. Vermintide was made after Age of Sigmar came out, and was basically like, here, play around with the entirety of fucking 40k. Like, or not 40k, play around with the entirety of, like, the Empire and the Old World and the Skaven lore. Like, that's not a fucking tiny chunk of the license. That's a tiny chunk of the lore relative to the vast amount of lore that there is in Warhammer in general. But that's, like, it's still an insane amount of stuff to work with. And Blood Bowl was an entire specialist game. Like, was an entire game line that they used to make.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this, like, he's just making up shit.
This allows Games Workshop to get a variety of products without those games competing too much with each other mechanically or thematically. And then the core licenses, 40k and Warhammer Fantasy Battle, those go to the AAA studios who are able to go big and make stuff like Total Warhammer and Dawn of War.
Come on. Just
shows Dawn of War 1. Shows Dawn of War 1. Like, even though Dawn of War 1 predates all the shit he's talking about.
Yes, Total War Warhammer is a shitfest. The first Dawn of War was great.
Yeah, like...
Great fucking game. But that's THQ and Relic. They don't exist anymore.
You fucking idiot. God damn it.
Just... Oh.
Like, God. He has done... just absolutely no research. Like,
no,
they could have at least put Dawn of War 3 if they wanted this to be correct. But like, then it's just like, wait, so 2 shitfests. Like, all right, Total War Warhammer 2, it's like despite all the bitching, it is still actually like still kind of fun. But fucking Dawn of War 3 was terrible. Dawn of War 3 was borderline unplayable because the amount of stupid micro they shoved in it. But even before you got into like all the aesthetic problems.
Yeah, fuck.
We should also talk about Games Workshop's marketing approach, though, because they know that the popularity of their IP will automatically create some initial visibility for all of these games, without heavy marketing investment. And that allows them to wait and see how a title is initially received before investing more money marketing it. You'll notice that almost all of their low and mid-tier licenses, they don't seem to get much of a push unless they look like they're gonna do really well. And even then, that push comes way later in the cycle than...
That's because GW doesn't fucking push anything until it's like something that they can't afford to lose money on, like Dawn of War 3. Because Games Workshop is fucking stupid. And their marketing department is only intelligent when they're trying to figure out how to screw people out of money.
Mm-hmm. It's a silly system, but that's what they do. They're like, oh shit, we can't afford to lose this thing. We've put so much money into. Fucking shove it as far as we can.
Sometimes not until after launch. Moreover, that push comes through Games Workshop's existing marketing channels, like their stores or their magazine, and not through Games Workshop spending any additional money. This allows them to save their marketing muscle for the titles they know are good, or at least the ones they know are going to appeal to their audience. And they let the rest just...
like... marketing muscle.
Flex that marketing muscle, yeah.
Quietly slide into oblivion. Because the Warhammer licenses are just that darn huge and widely known, this approach seems to be working. And actually, let's talk about that IP. One of the advantages things like Fantasy Battle and 40k have is that they are incredibly fleshed out properties. Between the games, the books, the game books, and the miniatures, Games Workshop IP has hundreds of characters and locations at their disposal, all of them packed with detail and flavor, and with a lot of established mechanics.
Established mechanics. This fucking idiot.
I don't even have a response.
I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. They have so many established mechanics, guys.
Like, okay, lore. Established mechanics.
Like, what
established
the
mechanics.
fuck is he saying? Like, the Space Marines fight people with chainswords. It's an established mechanic. Like,
it's an established mechanic. Fucking Chaos Space Marines beat fucking Eldar to death with power fists. Established mechanics.
Established mechanics.
The Commissar drinks his recaf in the morning.
And then shoots like 70 conscripts to get more powerful. Established mechanics. It's like, oh yeah, GW's gonna make they're gonna make a Diablo clone in 40k with their established mechanics of all their characters. The Commissar character, instead of leveling up, he just shoots the other party members.
Literally, what you just said means that like everything in lore has been like just it's an established game mechanic.
It's an established game mechanic. It's like that would be like man, that would mean that. That would mean that like the stupid shit that's going on would get even more whatever. There's not even humor there. Let's just
keep going.
Existing depth not only gives Games Workshop the ability to sub-license down to the micro level like they do, but also provides a detailed blueprint for any company working with their IP, which reduces the risk of companies producing conflicting or disjointed games under those licenses. More than that, though, this pre-existing depth
still make
also
conflicting and
provides
disjointed games anyway.
Yeah, it's an established mechanic of Games Workshop.
Rim shot.
Roasted them nuts.
Interesting reinforcing effect to their shotgun-style licensing. Having such a broad and robustly built-out set of universes means that each game can serve as a rabbit hole leading towards the others. It's a lot like the Marvel Universe effect. Each product introduces you to and gets you excited about some of the others. But the final piece of this puzzle is IP quality control. Not game quality.
Implying. Im-fucking-plying.
Oh, I got a cramp in my neck. Oh, jeez.
Like, the fact that this motherfucker said this with a straight face.
I can't believe that. Wow. That's
fucking-plying.
That's unfucking believable. Does he even play tabletop games? Does he do any research at all?
No, they don't. Like, it's when I say they, because the spokesperson here is like, he's just the guy who's apparently the best at speaking, and he has a whole team of fucking writers and other game players that like help them with these videos and do the animations and shit. So you're just like, wait a second. There's like 6 of you motherfuckers and none of you could Google the most basic parts of the fucking license scenario?
Yeah, what the fuck? Next comes quality control. Like, anybody does quality control.
No, especially Games Workshop. Games Workshop hasn't done quality control for literally fucking over a decade.
Yeah, they haven't.
Quality control,
just don't give a
mind
shit.
you. Quality control of the IP itself. The quality of the games may vary pretty wildly.
Ah! Ah! He's so fucking stupid!
That hurts. It hurts. Because they control the quality of their franchises. Let me tell you,
the quality is being controlled, sir.
It's like a finely aged blue cheese. It's a little too old.
But IP quality control helps to ensure that everything published under that IP stays true to that IP. And Games Workshop is very good at this.
I need to make a montage of all the dumb shit in their video games that happens and fucking just like fucking run through it like a Crowdcat video of like just call it like IP quality control, and it's like all of the fucking dumb mechanics of the mobile games.
Games Workshop is like a fucking MRE from the 1940s or 50s. You open it up, everything looks nice, but it's all stale and spoiled.
Like, this idiot, this absolute idiot. They have quality control of their IPs, guys. We promise.
It's a mechanic. Oh, okay.
The mage of shithar strikes again.
I think GW probably realized very early on that they had neither the capacity nor the resources to micromanage every one of these projects into being good. But what they did have was a large number of people who are very intimately familiar.
They can't micromanage anything to be good.
No.
Oh, God damn it. God damn it.
Research not done. Got it. Burn this heretic.
Like, every time GW is bothered, like, GW either, like GW doesn't even micromanage anything and it still turns out like shit. Like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, goddamn.
Oh my god.
With the worlds and the lore of their own tabletop games. And when you look at the slew of Warhammer titles that have come out, it looks like Games Workshop is putting that strength to use. Because even the bad Warhammer games still have that proper Warhammer flavor.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Make it stop. There's still a minute and a half.
Warhammer flavor.
There's still a minute and a half of this video left. Oh my god.
Look, it's just Dawn of War 3's got that perfect Warhammer flavor.
Yeah, you know, backflipping Terminators and spinning Thunderhammer strikes.
Backflipping Terminators are my favorite part about that game.
A demon the size of a planet that has an avatar that's just like the size of a small titan. Deep striking Night Titans. A first captain that steps down and decides to become a chaplain and then change voice actors. All British voice acting casts.
Dawn of War 3 was just the epitome of New Games Workshop, like, deep lore.
Like, that wasn't even Games Workshop's fault. That was entirely fucking Sega being like, alright, Relic, we'll save you, but we'll fire everybody with talent who works here.
Sega, you know what they did? They fired Relic. They didn't give a fuck about anyone that gave a fuck about the game. They got some new people that were like, we don't know what this game is. So they went and looked at the current state of affairs on the current edition tabletop game, and they were like, we could do that.
Like, dude, like the guy that they made the guy that they made to be the face of the fucking dev team for Dawn of War 2 or Dawn of War 3 rather, like Philip Bull. Philip Bull had been around since Dawn of War 1, but he was just a dude in the background that kind of like helped with some stuff. Like if you look at the credits, like all of it is just like assistance work. He is like the fucking George Lucas of Relic, where like he's just a guy who kind of sort of helped with something great, and like everybody thinks that he's the creator.
Yeah.
Like, God.
Just Jesus,
Games Workshop may not be able to control the quality of all those games, but they almost certainly asked for final approval on how everything looked and felt. And this means that even when people hated
backflipping Terminators felt real 40K, man.
They felt real good.
Micromanaging flamethrowers felt real 40K, man.
Felt real good, man.
A cover system that is based on energy shields coming out of rocks.
It's just a game mechanic.
Established mechanics.
It's established mechanic, man. Backflipping Terminators.
One of those licensed games.
Mechanics.
That hate is much less likely to transfer over to...
You know, it probably is. Like, there's somebody who's gonna fucking quote, like, one of the Horus Heresy books where, like, Dan Abnett goes full retard and has a Terminator, like, backflip through an elevator shaft or some shit. And then they're gonna be like, there's gonna be people who actually defend this, being like, established mechanics, brah. Like, no, established terrible writing, bruh.
Come on, there's a difference.
Jesus.
Check yourself.
Actual Games Workshop products. Heck, if they're lucky, anybody who plays a bad Games Workshop licensed product will say to themselves, well, that was disappointing. I want to play a good game set in...
No.
I want to play a good game. Gets on his phone.
Yeah.
This universe. All of which...
I want to play a good game from this universe. Like, this... Is he serious? Like, I played Dawn of War... My first experience with Warhammer 40K was Dawn of War 3, and it was bad. Obviously, I need to go fucking play Dawn of War 2. Like, nobody fucking thinks like that anymore. What the fuck are you talking about?
Which leads to more sales for their core games, more people knowing about their universe, and the value of their IP increasing. So it would seem that this shotgun approach to licensing, where even the smallest dev has a chance at working with a tiny splinter of this major IP, it can be effective. it requires some very specific variables from the company and from the IP itself, so it's not an option for most companies, but it does mean that for a company like Games Workshop, licensing exclusively to AAA companies for enormous fees isn't the only option anymore.
Oh man, now they're trying to spin it like, oh, because GW is retarded and like the license went everywhere and Sega is idiotic. Obviously, GW is trying to help out the little guy. This is a brand new marketing scheme that's trying to help out little devs instead of big devs.
Quick, guys! Our games get bad reviews! Throw the seeds everywhere!
Yeah. The Monsanto of game design theory.
Yeah.
Fucking what the hell?
Stocks are dipping, let's fucking venture.
Throw it in the wind and then sue everybody whose farm this shit lands on.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Oh my god.
Well, I'll see you next week where we fucking jerk ourselves off some more about shit we don't understand and stuff that we didn't fucking research.
True.
But what am I saying? Of course, extra credit's not researching stuff as established mechanics.
Look, man. Look. I mean, you know, maybe not all of their videos are bad, but this one was pretty fucking bad.
A lot of them are really poorly researched, honestly.
Okay. Well,
like,
I haven't watched like any of them, so but yeah, this one was.
Just take my word for it. Don't bother to do your own research. It's my established mechanic is that I'm right.
My established mechanic is that this video is garbage, and I declare it heresy of the highest order. It will be burned, and it will be
video ended by order of the LARP.